Over here, I've had some of my former students in here, so I feel at home. But if when you face 300 people like I faced at the Punch and Train Recreational Center 3 years ago, and I have some pictures that y'all can look at after I'm through. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to talk. After I'm through, you can ask any question you want, and if I can't answer it, I'll tell you. Je peux pas. The most famous one is, how did you get the power? And I'm going to tell you how I got the power. This is fascinating. This is spreading, and I hate to say this, but we are a dying breed. Most people die, they don't pass it on, because, and this is a bad thing. Now, why they don't pass it on? Because if I should give Miss Ethel over here, let's say, how to treat warts, I'll give her the treatment. She's got to learn it. It's all in French. If I give it to her, then I can't treat anymore. And like I tell them, I have phone calls every week. You ready to give? I said, I don't have a foot in the grave yet. You see, when I have a foot in the grave, I'm going to, and of course, my wife, I told her already, these are written in French. These are treatments. And I'll go through it, and I'll show you what's what for a sprain, or a snake will bite you, something like that. It's in here. This is not witchcraft, people. A lot of people they think that treating people, or people that heals people, that's some witchcraft. I am sorry. This is not witchcraft. This is serious business. And Father Calais, who built St. Teresa in Abbeville, there's an article about Father Calais defending the prayers of treating. He's better because he had sinus and I cured him. So he's a strong believer in this. Let's go back during the Depression days, back to 20s and 30s. I'm old. I lived through it. People had no money. Go to the doctor. I was telling one woman laughed. I said, the doctor tells you hello, it's $100. Goodbye, $150. And it's outrageous. But they have to make a living. I'm not against it. So it's a proven fact that people are coming back to people that treat. In the late 20s, early 30s, I had my grandpa, Mr. Nicolas Hébert, my cousin, Otis Mir, my friend, André Deblanc, called Dre. I would tell him, I'd like for you to leave the treatments. You don't have to worry. Since I'm 10 years old, I wanted to treat people. I was fascinated by this. All of them died of a heart attack. And there goes it. So I gave up. I said, I'll never get the treatments. Well, I started teaching school in 1947, which is, well, none of you look younger than this, you see. 47, I started teaching, and I had a class in world history about how people treated themselves, or how they cured themselves during the Middle Ages. Here comes treating people. Here comes home remedies and whatnot. And I told the class, I said, you go back home, talk to your grandpa and grandma, get all the treatments you can on what happened, remedies and whatnot, and put it together. I was fascinated, and I regret one thing, that I didn't keep all these papers. But as a school teacher, you have to burn it, as you know. So I did. But and when it was over with, I says, I'd give anything for one treatment. This little boy sitting in the corner, never said it. He comes up to me, he says, Mr. Aube, I want to give you 2 treatments. If you want them. Grandpa gave them to me. I don't want them. Everybody's on. I said, okay, give them to me. He gives me the one for treating once, and I laughed. It was funny. I said, this can't be. Don't laugh. He said, try it. See if it's successful. Lo and behold, I'm looking for an apple. And if they had one that didn't want to, they walk away. So finally, one student was brave enough. I had 7 big ones. I said, okay, I'll treat you. Give him the treatment. I said, if it didn't go away, you come back and tell me still good. So end up like 2 weeks. He said, look. Now that's how I knew I had the bomb. The answer to some of this question. If the wash wouldn't have gone away, then I don't treat no more. See? So then I started picking up other treatments, okay? And I'll go along and tell you when the other ones happen, like this over here with Miss Renee Adams, Kaplan. Well, let's talk about Miss Renee Adams right now. In fact, I talked with her yesterday, and she's grinning. She teaches French in Kaplan. You can see this is Aube. I don't know when this was written. It's in French. If you people know how to read French, you can come out here and look at it. She says, Aube, I've got these treatments. Do you want them? I said, no, I want them. I said, I've been begging for this for years. She says, okay, here they are. Now, as I came in, I noticed on this counter, Charlene Richard, Cajun Saint. Well, I'm going to give you a story about Nastagidri, which is also a good French name. Nastagidri can't be more French than this. Saint Nastagidri in these prayers. Saint. So I got curious, and I started talking to those givers from Kaplan. Go home, talk to your mom and daddy, grandpa and grandma. So finally, one little fella comes back, he says, I got your answer, Mr. Aube. I said, good. He said, Nastagidri lived in Nunez, Louisiana. All of you know where Nunez is. He was crippled. A crippled man. But he performed miracles. So he was regarded as a saint. And I'm just thinking, if television, radio, newspapers would have picked that up at that time, or the priest, Kaplan Abbeville, Nastagidri would be canonized by today. He never will be, because nobody followed that story. Okay? But Charlene will be Richard. Father Calais convinced me on that because he was very close to her. All right. Le traitement d'un orfouleur. All right, you French people. What is it?
Sprain.
Sprain. Le traitement d'un orfouleur. Okay. Faire 9 fois. Un croc. Sur le mal. I'll read it. You won't remember it, so you won't take it away from it. Je suis parent, je suis parent, je suis parent, je suis parent. 9 times. Then you repeat. Je suis parenté, je suis parenté, je suis parenté 9 times. Faire 9 fois sur le mal. You see? Now this is your treatment for an orfouleur. Le traitement de sang, blood. Okay? You see Saint Nastagidri with the name Jesus Christ, Jesus Christ. See? It's fascinating what this is. That you have this man that was considered a saint, 1800s. I don't know. I can't pin the date, but he was living in Nunez. Mal d'oreille, earache. Okay. Miss Ethel, if you have earache, I'll put my 2 fingers over here, and I'll say the treatment. And you're going to sleep tonight, and you're going to get up tomorrow morning, no more headache. No more earache. I've gotten up 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night, because people will call all hours of the night. And I've cured many of them, especially for little children. Oh, I'll go. Where you live? Okay. Put the porch light on. Le traitement d'un brûleur. Brûleur. What is it? A burn. All right. I'll tell you a story that happened to me personally. I get from school and my daughter's crying over the phone. She had put a big rose grease and she dropped that thing in her whole hand. Daddy, I said, hold on, baby. Betty was driving up. She said, we coming. And I started treating while Betty was driving. I got there, treated. The next morning she got up. Her hand was just as normal as the other one. Now this is personal I'm talking about. I'm just telling you. Bad dreams, nightmares. Some of the young people have all kind of nightmares and all that. And I treat in school and they know that. So I've treated hundreds, so yes. And they come back and say, Mr. Aube, no more nightmares. Good. Nastagidri again. This is for charbon, the charbon. This gentleman shook his head. You don't have that anymore because the vets are there with their, you know what I mean? So I never did treat for charbon, but it's there if ever they call me. Okay? Adesipa. How many of you know what an adesipa is? Hey, look, you see? There it is. Adesipa. And poro. Again, now I've treated poros. I mean, I had to laugh with Mr. Vincent. He's a male cavalry around Maurice. And then he called me. He says, "Oh, so we went. He drove in the field. You know, they have all those big tires. You know, you don't walk anymore. You know, you don't ride horses. You go in your jeep." And I spotted it from here to the end of the building. The following week, pick up the phone. His wife called. She said, "Mr. Aube, the photo is gone," and that thing was this big.
Well, what is a photo?
It's a big wart, except it's on animals.
Oh, okay.
It's not a human being.
Okay.
Nastagidri again. Mr. Perrin, we had met, remember, at Iran High School? You're not Mr. Perrin? No, you're not. I thought you were Mr. Perrin. My eyesight, I don't have my glasses. I thought you were.
He's worse.
And sarpan.
Snake.
Okay. Sarpan, snake bit. Nastagidri. So these are some of the treatments. I'll put them on here. If you think you can memorize it, come on, I'll give it to you.
Are you going to lose your treatment?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh.
Now, Mrs. Roddy, I have to tell you about Mrs. Roddy. Poor thing, she died during the Christmas holiday. She must have been 98, 99 years old. This woman called me from Maurice about 7, 8 years ago. "Can you treat for colic?" I said, "No, ma'am, but I sure wish I could." She said, "Well, if I find someone that wants to give to you," she said, "I'll call you back." So she called me back and she gave me Mrs. Roddy's phone number. I called her. She said, "Mr. Aube, you come. I'm ready." She was past 90. She said, "I'm ready to give it to you." And she had a sister. If some of you knew Cat Guidry and his brother, you know, Cat Guidry, that's that sister. There were 2 of them living on South Louisiana, Aubeville. And she made her sister go in the other room, but she didn't want her sister to run, and we eyeballed each other. And I taught French. I teach French anytime they want to. I taught French at Nogamill. Mr. Gator is a French teacher out there, and we talk French, so hey. I taught French at Aubeville High for 3 months when Madame had a staph infection or something like that, so I can handle it. But that's one word in that treatment. I was almost, and I started sweating, and she got aggravated. So finally I got it. Oh, I said, "Miss Roddy, what this treatment?" I knew it wasn't good. She said, "Mr. Aube, this treatment is good for anything and everything." That answers your question. Anything and everything. If you come to me that I don't have these treatments over here, or some that I've memorized, then I'll use her treatment. Miracles. She says, and I perform miracles with it. I perform miracles with it. I promise you. I have a woman in Lafayette. I don't want to throw names around, but I get my ham for Christmas every year. You can't pay me. You see, you can't thank me, you can't pay me, but she brings my ham. Or no husband. They're grinning, they come out there. Say, we're giving that to Betty. And I do. I said, okay. And I eat my ham. Yeah. She had cancer cells, and all of a sudden she don't have cancer cells. So all I'm going to say, I hate to talk about it, because people will expect miracles, and I don't want to. One man I cured, he come home, and he sat at the table. He says, I come to get treated. I says, good. Come to get a treatment. Oh, I didn't quite understand. No. He says, I want the treatment. I said, I can't give you my treatment. I says, I'm going to lose it. He wasn't too happy. But I had cured him. Okay? I know. I give you real, I'm treating a bunch of sorority women, from 22 on down to 50. You're going to appreciate this. Because in my treatment, and I've been pretty successful with this. I mean, I've failed a few times. Infertility, you can't get pregnant. All the doctors say you can't get pregnant, but so this little brunette comes up. I said, okay, girl, I'll treat you. But, this had never happened before. I would have. This 39-year-old woman come out there, and she put her head right here. Well, I didn't stop. Guess who got pregnant? 39-year-old woman. That's right. She wanted to kill me. Christy Herb, Richard LeBeuf's wife. I taught these students. Gordon Herpin's daughter, he's a pharmacist. They sat home, she's crying, can't get pregnant. Richard said, Mr. Aube, you can. I said, well, I'll try. She's got a 2-year-old baby, the cutest little boy, weighed 10 pounds down on when he was born. Now I'll give you another incident. I talked at LSUE about 7-8 weeks ago. Every time I talk, I have to put more weeks on. And I have the card, if you want to read it, it's there, the students that signed. There was a little girl, I remember, but I don't know their name, you see. I just talked, and she was sitting like this, and I kept picking at her. She had a few little freckles. So, she wanted me to treat her for her zits, you know what I mean? They would be put in, and I'm pretty good at that too. And then she says, no, I says, okay, girl, let's go. About 3 or 4 weeks after, the professor called me and said that Lisa was pregnant. But I treated 3 of them. The other 2, boy, they were all excited, but only Lisa got pregnant. So she called me the Monday, the professor. She said, Mr. Aube, I'm pregnant. Thank you very much. I can thank you now. Now you pray that I have a healthy baby. I said, I will do that. So I'm just giving you some of the treatments that, they say it can't be done. But it can be done. Warts, shingles, stretch, nerves, earache, sprain, burns, dreams, worms, colic, snake, everything. I have a list of. I have another list out there for remedies, which, if I make those remedies together, oh Lord, I open a pharmacy soon, so I don't fool with that at all. I'll give it to you. I'll read them over for you, but I don't. Remember, guys, this is treating people. I am not a healer. They kind of teed me off in New Orleans because they said, a Cajun healer. I am not a healer. And I was explaining that to these people. There's 300 of them out there. I said, if I'd have been a healer, I'd be like Swaggart, Oral Roberts, Baker and all that. I said, I'd have driven over here in a limousine with a chauffeur, and I said, I'd have had a big basket for you to throw your money in it. Now that's a healer. And I don't have anything against healers. Look, That's that thing. If you want to go throw your money, go. They come out there in a wheelchair on TV. They used to nonsense, swagger, kind of messed up his life, you know, and all that. They kind of quit on TV, but they used to come out there. But every Sunday, you could, and I used to look at them just to have fun. They'd come out there, and then this big guy would grab him and shake him, bang him into the wall, and let him loose. When they'd walk away, it's better because they'd kill him. So this is a healer. I am not a healer. I'm a treater. It's a prayer. That's all. And very seldom I'll put my hands, especially if I treat to get them pregnant. I don't put my hands on them at all. A lot of them, they grin, you know. The power of prayer. Let me tell you what happened to the power of prayer. Boudreaux, on the outside of Pocono Island, he's a trapper man. You remember when the Pope came to Denver? Well, Boudreaux is a religious man. Listen, he's religious till the toes. And he goes to Mass, he gives all the money to the church and everything, and he wanted to see the Pope. He counted his money, he didn't have enough money to go to Denver. Oh, disappointing. The following year, you can check on me, here comes the lottery. Oh, that's the answer to it. He's got to win because he's so religious and he's prayed to God to meet the Pope. So for 6 months, man, Boudreaux was praying, nothing. So finally he got disgusted with the man upstairs. He started talking back to him, you know, you're not taking care of your servant, and oh Lord, he had a song and that. All of a sudden, it got weird in his bedroom, and he knew something was going to happen. This large voice comes down. Boudreaux, if you want to win the lottery, meet me halfway, buy a ticket. So the power of prayer, I'm telling you. Don't get the treating of people, or anyone that treats, mixed up with voodoo. Now, I'm reading a book right now, Blood something. It takes place around the Civil War, and it's in New Orleans. And this woman gives the names of their god, you know what I mean, that they worship and everything. She says they kill goats and they kill roosters and want to drink the blood and all. She goes through the ritual and everything. And I'm fascinated by this. So if you want to go to the Voodoo Queen, they've got them in New Orleans. Get any taxi out there and say, I want to see the Voodoo Queen. Take it, but bring some money. Bring some money. You want to eliminate somebody? That little voodoo doll, those voodoo dolls. Straight thing. And I promise you, they'll turn into nothing. They're going to die. If you give the right amount of money, they get it. Promise. So I don't touch voodoo. You can go if you want to. No, this is giri-giri. How many of you have heard of giri-giri? Okay. You put the giri-giri. I have more fun with the coaches in the parish. And even in Baton Rouge, I'm talking to this business group, all computer scientists, 3/4 of them are graduated from LSU. I said, LSU would be playing Alabama. Alabama is 3 times stronger than LSU. And I'll put the giri-giri on Alabama. There's no way LSU can. They all jumped up and hugged me and all that. They said, come on, let's go. I said, The coaches, they grinned at me, you know, again yesterday. They wanted me to, you know, the girls, This is kids play. You don't put the giddy-giddy on anybody, okay? And if you're playing professional ball, getting millions, then you should be good enough to win the game. College, they get that college paid for. So I'm not going to put the giddy-giddy on anybody. Conjo. How many of you have heard Conjo? I got a good one in Conjo. I'm got a good one, Conjo. Conjo is simply this, and I have fun when they're young ones, you know, because they're in love. You know what love is. But anyway, I'll take some regular powder, some regular flour, not powder, flour that you bake biscuits and bread, and I'll treat this. And if you have a boyfriend that's macho, you know what I mean? Every girl is after them, you cry all night long, and you cry because everybody, and you can't get them and all that. I'll treat this flour. You take that flour, bring it, go to that boyfriend's house, spread it. He'll walk on it. He'll never look at another woman, another girl. He's come to me, baby. Oh yeah, that's it. So I'm saying this to, people that I've talked to. Phone rings one night. This woman called. She says, Mr. Aube, yes, ma'am. She says, you treat this. I said, yes, ma'am. She says, look, name the amount of money you want. She must have been a rich woman. Because, name the amount of money. I said, no, man. If you're not woman enough to get that man, I'm sorry. I says, I always say in my lectures, I don't touch this. I could make money out of it. But, Well, she says, if you want to call me back, left the phone number if you decide. I says, no, sir. Now, this has happened. Well, I might get home in my wife this afternoon and there's something on the porch, carport for vegetables, anything. Pralines. I got a lot of pralines from New Orleans because since I've been curing those square dances and all that, word spreads around New Orleans and Baton Rouge, where they make those famous pralines. I get some pralines home. They come bring it. I mentioned Father Calais. He said it's a spiritual gift. Now, I want to also get certain things that you heard about treating people. For an example, if I want to pass on my treatment, I have to pass it on to a woman, not a man. Well, remember when I said this boy student gave me, and I was successful, so that mitt is up, okay? Body of water, that it won't go. I've treated people in the Gulf of Mexico on platforms, they call it, but it's clear to talk to them at night. I've treated people in Florida, you have to cross the Mississippi, New Jersey, California. In fact, this one from New Jersey, about 5 years ago, called me. I talked in Lafayette and she got my address and all that, phone number. She'd spend millions of dollars, thousands of dollars on allergies. And I treat her in September. She calls every year. She never spent another nickel on doctors. So last summer, I'm sitting home and doorbell ring. I go open it. Guess who? That woman got. She found me. She came to thank me for saving her thousands of dollars. Since then, I've treated her neighbor. She called for her daughter. And going to school in Denver, Colorado, and I treated her for shingles. Now, I'm going to find out what she called in September if the shingles went away, because she didn't call back. Remedies. Remove tattoos. You say goat milk, I don't know, ringworms, buttermilk, baby colic, goat milk, nausea, vomiting, breadcrumbs, headaches, dose of Epsom salt. Well, I've seen that, but this is the one I have more fun with. Birthing pains, a woman's having a baby, and oh Lord, it carries on and on. She takes the cowboy hat her husband's got, she puts it on, baby, no more pain. The reaction, God, I wish I'd have known that, women that had baby. Oh, Lord. She said, so, oh yeah, wear that cowboy hat, baby. Stomach cramps, castor oil, toothache, vanilla extract, that's another thing that, it's all. Bleeding, spider webs, people have used that. Back pain, alfalfa tea. Cold sores, almond and earwax, cough, syrup from cooking beets, onions, and sugar, mamu cough syrup, cold, that I've taken, drop of kerosene on sugar. How many of you have taken that for cold?
Baking, is that when you're small?
Yeah, when we're small. I've taken my share of it.
And does it taste bad?
Feeding, dried pumpkin, stem, diaper rash, or you take a dove nest, with mud, and you put water in it, and you put a cataplasm or poultice, whatever. Cataplasm, I like to say. Cataplasm. Diarrhea, rice water, hives, corn husk, pink eye, mother's milk, balls, big ball, and poultice. Poultice is what you had said. A flower from okra plant seeds. These are pictures, and I have a few more that this was, I keep forgetting, probably the AARP. This is the Commoners Club in Alphaville. I'm treating Happy. He's a state farm insurance or something like that. You notice I said Traiteur is a dying breed. I said this because it used to be on a city block, like say in Iraq, you'd have 2 or 3 Traiteurs for a block. Now you don't have that. You have to start calling and finding out who treats and who don't treat. Les prières no para. I was talking one day, this elderly lady, and I'm sorry I had to stop her, but I found, man, she grabbed it, she started walking. I said, whoa, wait a while. So she says, I want this. I said, no, this is my only one, and I show this to people. You see, a lot of them don't know. Les prières no para. I mean, that's it.
It's all in French.
All in French. Notre Père and all that, and Blessed Virgin and all this, Je crois en Dieu and all that stuff. I ran off about 20 copies. I gave my last runoff copy to the Daily Advertisement man when he interviewed me during the holidays. Sometimes you gotta have kind of proof, you know. So this is, I'm talking, my hands goes and it comes. I want to get the one from, this is also an audience like you people, like my wife took. I want the one in Pontchartrain. Here I'm treating a woman that's got problem with her neck. Get it up, couldn't you? Now this is where I was on the rostrum talking to those people, those 300 people in New York. And the woman who got me, just like Miss Pat called me, she got frantic. I mean, she says, you tell them that half of them's got to, I'm not going to tell nobody nothing. If they want to go listen to this woman cooking or this fella fishing, let them go. And she had this professor from LSU, somebody had a whole story of Louisiana. I felt sorry for him. He was going to give a lecture and all, he had one. And she wanted me to send, now here's the cross, you can see it. So it's fascinating. Here's the card I got from LSUE. The first paragraph is from this little Manuel, the little girl I got pregnant. This professor had migraine headaches. And that's one thing I'll tell you. If I treat for, let's say, migraine headache, when I put my hands on you, and when I let you loose, she started to fall. I had to grab her and I sat her down. Man, she was wide-eyed. But she never had migraine since. She never had migraine since. No, don't say healer, don't holler. Yeah, you know you're going to learn my prayer. But, holler. But anyway. Now, I could go on, but I know you people have things to do. What I want to do right now is answer questions. Raise your hand. Oh, yes, sir.
Treat for sunstroke.
I treat for anything and everything. Okay?
Does it take something out of you
Yes.
when you treat?
When I treated, I was shocked. I didn't believe that when I was talking. And when I was giving a talk at the Cajun Dome, Bootsy White, Sawyer White, maybe you know her from Aubeville, she was my campaign manager, you know, she had water and all that. And all of a sudden I got weak. So she sat me down, gave me some water. I recovered, and yes, it drains you. But I'm strong, so I don't weaken fast. Okay? Any other questions? Oh, no questions? Yes, ma'am. Now, you people that's got any kind of ailment, you come up here and I'll treat you.
Allergies.
Allergies, okay. Cool. Okay. Now another thing about warts. If you want to be treated for warts, of course I treat, you come and I treat. But if the moon is declining, in other words you have a full moon and it starts getting smaller until it gets dark moon, that's the time to treat. Now I don't know how the moon is right now, but you can check. Take your time. Talking about knee problem, I've got to tell you that this is a good one. We square dancing in Joplin, and Doris Broussard, my neighbor, he says, my knee, I'm going to get operated on Friday. He said, why don't you treat? I said, okay, Doris. I treated him. Hey, the next morning, he was kicking his knee, so he went back to the doctor. He says, and Doris still having no operation. That's right.
How about hearing? I'm due to go to the doctor for a hearing aid. I don't hear it all out of this ear and part out of this ear. What about migraine headaches? I live with that.
Migraine headache.
Glad you don't charge him, come rich today.
Limited.
You're right. All right. Now, what you have, just your shoulder. So you all over. Yeah. Your whole body.
I didn't know.
You're gonna teach me how to dance? If I did, all right, it's a promise. Now what you have? Yeah, good kid. On your spine? By where? On your shoulder right side? Right here? Okay. Okay.
I had a broken arm and I went to a therapist and I went to the doctor to say, and can you do anything with it?
Oh, yeah. Hey, how much it cost? No, but I mean for me. Anybody want to get pregnant? I said that in your I know women and they all look like 50 or 30. You know, I said, for what? Oh, different pain, yes. I thought it was
Because I had allergies and I had this broken arm and it's weak. I've been to the therapist and everything.
all right. I'll try anything. Okay. You know, you're a nice bunch. I broke about even over here for an hour, but when I spoke at LSUE, I started at 5, I ended up at 7:30. And those students, questions left and right. And I had one in there that she must have had her degree in nursing. And you know, some people you gotta convince them. How did you get the power? And she wrote a long paragraph in that letter. She said she believed in a lot of things, but and I'd laugh. You see, you gotta laugh, and you gotta pop her back, man. And she come back with something else. She wanted proof, yeah. And there's no proof. Well, I treated, 5, 6 over here, and I can't guarantee you that you'll get well. All right, you've had arthritis, let's say, for 50 years. How can it go away in 2 weeks? I can ease the pain. That's, and you can keep improving. But you can't erase, it's not like a wart that will go away. Like Mr. Dubois, that's got Dubois Pharmacy, and his daughter was a freshman in college, and she told me the number. I didn't count it. 250 flat whites in her face. You should have seen that in college. Just think with the boys, you know what I mean? How young girls are. And I went out there and I started treating her. It took me 3 treatments when the moon would decline. And every time I'd go, she'd cry. And I said, don't cry. All of a sudden, I forgot about going to Mr. Dubois to buy it. Man, somebody jumped. I looked back and there she was. Overnight, not a wart anymore. She called me her doctor. She addressed me as doctor. And she wants to treat me, but she's young. I said, I'm not ready, to give it yet. You see what I mean? I've got too many other people to treat.
Well, can you get it from one of those papers?
Ma'am?
Those papers you have.
Yes, ma'am.
Can we get it from there?
Can you get it from where?
What paper? You have paper. You have paper.
You mean you can learn it from them? Yes. Yes.
No, it has to come from you.
I'd rather give it to you.
More prominent traiteur than you.
I'd go with Mr. Andrew DeBlanc. He's dead now. Now, I never met Mr. Rene, but I was impressed with his article in his paper. I was quite impressed. And he was the champ as far as around Hebrew sort. He's dead also. Didn't leave anything. Dre didn't leave anything. So those people from Hebrew sort come home, they says, I am the champ now.
About Traiteur Blanc.
Traiteur Blanc, that's the one I'm talking about. He's dead.
Yeah, Andrew, what's it?
Andrew DeBlanc, Traiteur Blanc, his name, small. Did you ever see him treat? Huh? Oh man, look, I had to turn around, I wanted to laugh, and he nearly knocked himself out.
When I was little, because I had a wart on the back of my heel,
Uh-huh.
and I couldn't wear my shoes. And he counted it and it fell off.
Oh yeah, it falls off, but Dre, man, when he hit himself, I had to look away. Oh yeah. But Mr. Dre had a donation box on his table. I kept telling my wife, let me put a little donation box to pay my long distance call. Okay, people from Lafayette, Bro Bridge, Baton Rouge calls, please call me back. Now, I learned the lesson that first month after I talked in Lafayette. Oh man, my phone bill, Lord, I'm still working to pay my phone bill. So, I could pay my phone bill with that. And she said, nope, if you put any type of donation or anything, you might as well quit. I don't want that. I said, okay. All right. But I'd like to, and tell people, you put 25 cents, 50 cents, I can call people on the phone and pay my phone bill, long distance. She don't want, and I can't convince her. You know how stubborn women are.
No treatment for that?
Ma'am?
There's no treatment for that?
I tried.
We're safe.
Anyone else? Let's go.
Dis-toi, voici toi, toi. Tu veux pas te faire traiter? Tu veux pas te faire traiter? Quoi, t'es capable, ça va rien?
Pas du mal.
Pas de mal.
Ça, c'est bon. Pas de mal. C'est magnifique.
I can't turn my head back.
Mais why you can't turn your head back?
Because I can't. You can treat for that?
Yes.
What you mean, turn your
Why did you forget soon when I said I can treat for anything and everything?
Carty says, mother, you turn your whole body
I
back.
see my old classmate, Mr. Broussard, and that Mr. Newman Broussard. And you want me to treat you for anything, Bruce, or you all right? Okay, all right. So you lucky. You like me.
Can Warren come? So he could treat her. Actually, if he wants
Yeah,
to
we
treat
drank the same water. That Kulikini water, look, baby. Perfect.
Yeah, what?
You're gonna move it around. Carson says, honey, you turn your whole body to turn.
Did he treat you for anything?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you ever do any kind of research, or is it connected to Eastern healing in any kind of way?
This comes from across, you're right. I'd like to believe that my treatment comes from Catholicism in France and Italy, and it was transferred through here. You see what I mean? That's what I like to believe. No, because it's strictly connected with the prayers of the Catholic Church. But and a lot of Protestants, I've treated a lot of Protestants, you know what I mean? And I cured them. So it has no, even non-believers. I had a man that had 7 warts. He laughed when I treated him, and he comes back, I got to tell you this. But 3 weeks after, he says, oh, he says, I want to apologize. He said, look, they're gone. I said, you see? But he says, you didn't treat the one that was underneath it. I said, kneel down. Man, he jumped on his knees, man, he kneeled down, and I treated that wart. 2 weeks after, it was gone. But I made him kneel. He laughed at me when I was treating the first round. And you know, and Ethel too, it's Jeb Gidry, you know, the principal of Kaplan, I made him kneel down. One of my former students, I said, well, you kneel. He was laughing. Anyone else? Because I know you're anxious to get home.